Chris Wilde is the co-host of the longest-running Clippers podcast called Clipcast.
Paolo Banchero. Can you at least give the man some credit? What he did in Orlando in the playoffs.
I didn't even need you to say. I knew it.
I knew it was coming.
I knew it.
He had
Paolo
the list.
is not putting the meats in the seats. Paolo is not putting the meats in the seats. It's tough because, it is tough because, I only get to see Orlando like twice a year. You know what I'm saying? And so, and then if they make the playoffs, then I get to watch them a little bit more. But it's very special getting to go to all the home games, and it's a complete bummer that we only get the Eastern Conference once. And I get it. I totally get it. That's the way it should be. I actually think there was that season that we talked about earlier where you're like, wait a second, the finals were in like late July or something.
Yeah.
So that was like post bubble, right? And that season was truncated. It wasn't 82, it was 72. Mm-hmm. And it worked out perfectly that interconference each played twice, and then in your own conference you played 3 times, so there was no tiebreakers, and that is just so much better. And I think the league will never do it, but they should strongly consider shrinking the regular season, especially if they're doing all these in-season tournament nonsense and play-in tournament nonsenses. Shrink the regular season to 72. Mathematically it works much better. It takes a lot of wear and tear off the guys. So I think go for a 72, but man, I don't see these guys on other teams enough.
Right.
The newer guys.
Mike Gioseffi is the co-host of the popular Ringer podcast called Sports Cards Nonsense.
Unknown, right, Paolo, we haven't seen a bunch of. I think I'd take a shot with him.
Okay.
I know what I'm getting with Blake. Blake's another guy, couldn't really stretch the floor much. Unbelievable at the rim. Same thing, late game, you could hack Blake early on especially, and I'd live with him at the free throw line. Yeah. Especially young. I mean, Banchero's got kind of that it factor already. Not a great team in Orlando. I think I'd roll with him in that one.
Paolo Banchero.
Blake Griffin.
Paolo Banchero.
Blake Griffin.
Paolo Banchero.
Blake Griffin.
Backs
Blake
it up.
Griffin.
Will turn. Down the 5. He'll go to work. Step back.
Over Durant. Shot is up. Banchero drills it.
On this episode of NBA Now and Then, the greatest comparisons, we compare 2 of the most athletic power forwards from their respective eras.
This player finishes at the rim as good as any forward in the entire league.
Their strength and skill amazing.
His career is filled with more iconic dunks than any other player during his prime.
With moves to the basket that are unexplainable for guys their size.
Jumping with these players put way too many opponents on posters.
We are excited to present to you Paolo Banchero and Blake Griffin. I'm Uriah.
I'm Maurice.
I'm Lucas.
And I'm Ben.
And we're here to talk NBA
Now and Then.
Hey everybody, we're back after an iconic episode where we compare James Harden to Allen Iverson. And now we're moving on to 2 dynamic forwards, one that just retired and the other just had a great debut for his postseason performance. But before we start, I just want to ask people to please follow our show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It would really make a difference as we build our Comparison Hoops community. Following us would be great, but leaving a review for our show would be even better. Lastly, if you know any NBA fans out there, feel free to share any of our episodes so that they can be part of the comparison conversation. That being said, we have this really unique comparison, a really, really young player. We don't usually do young players, but after this kid played recently for Orlando, I think his time is now. Lucas, I'm going to go to you first. Blake Griffin, Paolo Banchero. What's this comparison all about?
You got 2 athletic guys who were selected first overall in their drafts that have quickly changed the franchise as soon as they started playing. Their games, in my opinion, despite one being, more athletic than the other, are eerily similar.
Okay. What about you, Maurice?
Yeah, for me, I'm going to go to the highlight reels because both of these guys are spectacular power forwards, small forwards, whatever you want to call them. One is a highlight reel on the dunks. One of them is just a multi-tool young player who who is still ascending and still growing, and we haven't seen the best of Paolo's game yet.
Yeah, good points. And what about you, Ben?
Yeah, the unanimous number one picks is kind of what stands out, like in both their drafts. And then what everyone said, like both were all-stars by the time they were 20, 21. Like they right away not only played good basketball, but winning basketball. As we all just saw, he almost took his team at 20, 21 years old to the second round. So
Yeah, 38 and 16 in a game 7. That's not too shabby for a second-year player. And that's a great point, Ben, the fact that they both had pretty much immediate impacts. I think both players their first year didn't have a winning season, but then the next year they really took a leap. But yeah, I agree with what all you guys said.